Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody, let's go.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hopefully you guys are good. Hopefully this show finds you in good spirits and all that good stuff. We got some interesting news that just recently happened about an hour or so ago. I want to break it down with you guys, give you guys the information. This isn't going to be a very long show or anything like that, but I do want to give you this because this is pretty crazy. And I've been watching and waiting on the Petito v. Laundrie and Bertolino case that just wrapped, which I will be talking about in another pop-up video. I was kind of waiting for that one to be wrapped up so we can actually talk about it, or I could give you guys the updates about that. Okay, so it's been a very interesting and productive, busy day. Okay, and so now we're coming to the end of the day with some new updates. But this caught my eye, and I felt like I got to hop on here and give you guys this information because I'm very surprised about this information. Let me just be real. But should we be that surprised? I leave that question out to you guys as well. Okay, but before we go into everything, before we get it on and cracking, please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. See a bunch of y'all starting to file in. Okay, that'd be greatly appreciated. Hit that like button. Send it past 200 likes as you guys start to file in. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to every single last one of y'all, wherever you're watching this show right here. It really does mean a lot that you guys are here. And for those of y'all who are first timers or returning viewers of the show and that you haven't done this yet, please do me a favor. Crush that subscribe button. Okay? Crush it. That'd be greatly appreciated. Okay, let us get into some things. And yes, let me just say this too, to the queen of rock and roll, may she rest in peace. Tina Turner died at the age of 83 today. Okay, in her home. She passed away peacefully in her bed in her home in Switzerland. She was 83 years old. I mean, one of the pioneers of rock and roll. Okay, she will not be forgotten, and she definitely was one of a kind. So may she rest in peace. But let's get into this conversation, okay, guys? Like I said, not here for a long time, but we're here for a good time and an informative time. This is some new information that came out on the twits. And of course, I had to come up here and talk to you guys about it because I got to be honest, I was absolutely shook. I was surprised about this. Okay. And if you guys have problems, you know what I mean? They're the first to break it, but I'm going to let you know, like, there's other articles that are talking about this as well. This proof positive. Okay. Parents of Bryan Kohberger have been subpoenaed to testify before a Pennsylvania grand jury. This is not a mirage. You are not seeing something. Your eyes aren't playing tricks on you or anything of that sort. Okay? This is very, very surprising to me. And it should be very surprising to you. Okay? Because let's be real. We have been focusing on Idaho 4. We've been, obviously, we all have. The whole world has been at the edge of their seats with him going into his most recent court appearance, standing silent. All right, people losing their minds, including myself, not fully understanding why he did that, why he was standing silent. Okay, that was a conversation for at least a day, at least 24 hours. Okay, some of y'all kept talking about it for 48 hours. Okay. But now we got this information, which I find to be extremely interesting. And I have some friends that came in to give me some information, or a friend to come in and give me a little bit of an understanding of what's going on here. And we're going to get into that too. Okay, we got a quote from our good friend Andrea Burkhart, and it actually echoes the information that we're hearing from other reporters like Brian Enton and such. So let's get into this article really, really quick. Like I said, this is very, very interesting stuff. Be sure to hit that like button down below. Send it past 300 likes. That would really, really mean a lot to me and, of course, to the show. But, of course, if you haven't done it yet, crush that subscribe button, okay? And I will say this, too, real quick, before we go into the the black ink, all right? I will make sure, if I can get somebody to come onto the show to expand a little bit more on this, hopefully tomorrow or something of that sort, we will most likely circle back and talk about this in more details, in more of on the legal sense of things. What could this mean for the Idaho 4 case? What does this mean in Pennsylvania, et cetera, et cetera? But like I said, let's get into this article. Let's get into this black ink and see what's going on here, okay? The parents of Bryan Kohberger have been subpoenaed to testify before Monroe County, Pennsylvania investigative grand jury, according to a source familiar with the situation. Now, of course, we got to say, a source, we got to kind of lean on that lightly. Okay, guys, but still, this is a conversation and it is a story that is spreading like wildfire right now as we speak. Okay, people are catching wind of this, and it could mean something very interesting for Bryan Kohberger, or it could mean nothing at all. I'll just say that too. Let's continue. Kohberger's father is expected to testify before the impaneled grand jury in a sealed proceeding in Pennsylvania Thursday, according to the source. His mother previously testified before the secretive panel, the source said. So she's already testified. She's already been there, done that. Maybe that's the reason why a lot of people were wondering why we didn't see the Kohberger family there, why we didn't see the Kohberger parents at the actual trial, at his court appearance. Maybe the reason was because they were made to stay by and do their testimonies for the grand jury in Pennsylvania. Because even myself, I was curious. They showed up to his very, very first court appearance. And I figured they would be right there, just like all the other victims' families there with bells on and all that. I figured that they would show up again. And I think a lot of us were thinking, ooh, the parents aren't feeling Bryan anymore, kind of thing. But no, it might have been because they were subpoenaed to show up and testify in front of for a grand jury proceeding. Now that's some interesting stuff, guys. So now we know a little bit more of the story of why they weren't there a few days ago. Fascinating stuff. But let's continue. The parents of the man indicted for the unalivings of the 4 University of Idaho students were subpoenaed in Pennsylvania, in the Pennsylvania jurisdiction where they live and where BK was arrested last December. Their compelled testimony under oath may be shared with prosecutors in Idaho, according to the source. Pennsylvania law allows judges to release transcripts of witness testimony before grand juries to other investigative agencies after a court hearing. Now, let me say this too. This is something, and we haven't gotten to it yet, but as you can see, this is something completely separate from the Idaho 4 case. I want to make that abundantly clear for those of y'all who don't, who are still learning about law and all that. Like I said, I'm just a regular guy, but I'm starting to learn things over time. But this grand jury is on something completely different, guys. Completely different. Okay? And it's on the other side of the country as well. But their testimonies can be used for the Idaho 4 case. Just wanted you guys to know that as well. Okay? So an attorney representing BK's parents tried unsuccessfully to have the subpoenas quashed, the source said. The attorney retained by Michael and Mary Ann Kohberger declined to comment to CNN about the grand jury proceedings. The Latah County Prosecutor's Office declined to comment to CNN's citing the gag order in effect in the Kohberger case. By law, a Monroe County grand jury can only review potential crimes that occurred within Monroe County, Pennsylvania. It is unclear what potential crime they are investigating. Now, I want you guys to remember that. I'll highlight this. It is unclear what they are investigating. And that's the thing I want to know too, right? The hell are they investigating in right now? And why? Out in Monroe County, Pennsylvania, mind you. This has, again, nothing to do with the Idaho 4 case. Pretty crazy stuff. Okay? But it is still unclear, according to this article, which we find out some more. I have some information for you guys, but we find out that what crime they're actually investigating. Okay? Grand jury proceedings are secretive by nature, and documents related to the proceedings are sealed. And we learned that the last time when there was a grand jury grand jury hearing that was already, or grand jury proceedings that was already done behind all of our backs for the Idaho 4 case as well, which was very surprising. Okay. Now we already know that he was arrested in Pennsylvania in his parents' home almost 7 weeks after Kaylee, Madison, Xana, and Ethan were found unalive on November 13th in their off-campus home in Moscow, Idaho. Okay? Now, we already know that, of course, he drove from Pullman all the way to Pennsylvania with his pops for the holidays, okay? And he was staying at the home, okay, from mid-December until the arrest in the early hours of December 30th. Okay? We obviously already know all this stuff. Okay. And then, of course, after that, he was extradited out back to Idaho to face this new trial that he is facing right now as we speak. Okay. And that was in January. And I even remember that we were watching it like it was like we were kids watching Santa Claus on TV. Like, oh, Santa Claus is over China now. You know what I mean? Santa's coming to town. Remember that stuff? We were like following his plane, taking pit stops and all that stuff. I mean, it was crazy. All right. I remember that as well. But the thing is of course, a lot of us have a lot of questions as to what the hell is this all about? First, of course, I asked Andrea, okay? Our good friend, Andrea Burkhart, please go check her out. A Burkhart Law, okay, on YouTube and on Twitter as well. Please go follow her. She's fantastic. But I sent her the article because I was like, yo, do you have time to maybe hop on so we can talk about this, explain, and maybe you can help legal explain this to us as best as possible, right? She wasn't available, unfortunately. But she did have something to say because I was like, hey, what's up with this grand jury in Pennsylvania? What do you think this could mean? This is really interesting. I think this is very interesting, and I'm sure a lot of us find this very interesting as well. That's why you guys are all here, right? And I appreciate it. Hit that like button if you appreciate this quick live. But she said this. She said, very interesting. Definitely investigating possible Pennsylvania crimes. And if they're sharing with Idaho, it's got to relate to the M's somehow. Obstructing, concealing evidence, evaluating complicity of parents. Too many options. Now, hopefully, sooner rather than later, we will have her come on and talk about that. Maybe dive into that part a little bit more. But what I do find very interesting is that, of course, she said, well, does this have to do with other crimes that are going on in Pennsylvania? Let's take a look at something here really quick. Because Bryan Anton, too many Bryans in the world, y'all. I'm just playing. But Bryan Anton had some things to say about this as well. Okay? This is very interesting. And by the way, I saw this a little bit after I got that response from Andrea. And this is what was being said. Let me blow this up for you guys. So, and it's a little bit of a tiny little thread, but he says News Nation has learned BK's parents were called to testify before a grand jury in Pennsylvania. We all know about that by now. Okay. The case is related to Dana Smithers, a 45-year-old woman who went missing in May of 2022 in Monroe County, the same county BK lived. I haven't looked up Dana Smithers, but I'm about to here with you guys in just a minute. But it says here, part 2, a source close to the case says Kohberger has a solid alibi and is likely not connected to Smithers' disappearance, but the grand jury has not concluded their proceedings and the investigation is still ongoing. Number 3 in this thread, News Nation has previously reported that investigators were also looking into another case in Pennsylvania to determine whether BK was involved. So, one thing that I find very, very interesting, and Rianne just said, "Oh yeah, Dana. I don't know anything about Dana. No disrespect, but we're gonna. There's allegedly a TikTok down here that I'm gonna play for you guys so we can all learn about who Dana Smithers is. Okay, but still, Pennsylvania or the courts, law enforcement, etc., are exercising any possibilities of him being connected to the disappearance of other people in Pennsylvania. I guarantee you, this is not the end. This is just the beginning of all this. I will say this, okay? I think this is just the beginning. There are plenty of missing person cases in the Pennsylvania area. There are plenty of them in the Idaho area, Washington area. I'm sure they're exercising all of them to see if they can catch him on something else as well. They got him for the Idaho 4 for right now. Okay, obviously he's still innocent until proven guilty in the court of law and all that stuff. But at the same time, they got all of his stuff. They got all of his information. They do have evidence, pieces of him that they can use to cross-examine and use in other investigations. Some that may have been cold cases. They can go as far back as they need to. And they could possibly pin him to other things. So this happening right now, are we really surprised? Leo just said just the tip of the iceberg. Absolutely. This is just the tip, baby. Just the tip. This is just the beginning. And underneath that tip of the iceberg is a massive amount of possibilities. This is a vast, huge amount of possibilities with other cases that he could be involved in. Now, let me get Dolphin here really quick. And I appreciate the comments, guys. I really do. Okay. Oh, and let me say this. Hit that like button down below, please. And thank you. Let me see where we're at. Yes, hit that like button down below. Send it past 400 likes. Okay. A like don't cost a thing. It really doesn't mean a lot. Okay. We're going to check out the the TikTok about Dana Smithers here in just a minute. Okay. I appreciate that. Hit that subscribe button as well. And hey, don't forget to hit that join button down below. Support the channel if you can. That'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. Seriously, that would really, really mean the world. Okay. But let's get this. Dolphin 517. Thank you so much. You would think that they have something good to get a grand jury and subpoena his parents. A grand jury is more than a simple interview that they could have had with his parents. You're right. They got to have something damning. I mean, they can't just go on a whim and just go, yeah, let's just bring him in and just, throw some ish on the wall and see what sticks. No, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of money and time, right? So I agree. That would be ridiculous for them to bring them in on a hunch for no reason. You know what I'm saying? That just makes no bloody sense. All right? None whatsoever. They must have something fairly solid for them to bring in the parents in Pennsylvania and be like, where were you on the, or was he really with you on the night of the 15th? If his alibi, as it's being said here, and I'll just show it to you again, source close to the case says Kohberger has a solid alibi. So they must think that that he was involved in some sort of way or connected in this ish in some sort of way. And they're saying, hey, he has a solid alibi. How much can we believe that? Let's bring the parents in and say, what up, doe? And of course, the whole, where were you on the night of the such and such? Let's keep it real. Okay. Let's keep it real. Mag says, when Pascal goes full lad. Yeah, I go full lad. Floating, where was it? Floating Lotus. The Cockney accent is getting better. Thank you. I appreciate it, Floating. From you, I do appreciate that. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Okay. But like I said, very interesting stuff. Okay. Now, I know that we all want to see the, who is this Dana Smithers situation, because it's something new to me. I've never heard of it, this story. No disrespect to the family and friends that are affected by this story. This is still news to me, but I'm sure a lot of us would love to hear this one as well. So let me play a little bit of this for you guys. Okay, hit the number 1. Let me know you guys can hear this as well. That would really mean a lot. All right, let's play this.
Hey guys, so I have a really tough update to share about the case of missing 45-year-old mother Dana Christine Smithers of Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. In January, one of Dana's high school friends reached out asking me to share her case here. Dana went missing on Saturday, May 28th, 2022. The day that Dana disappeared, she went to a local festival at the Happy Hour Bar and Grill with her daughter and her daughter's father. Again, important to note that Dana and her daughter's father had separated, but they maintained a good relationship for their child. She had a great time, according to everyone who saw her, and everything seemed fine. After she got home, she visited her neighbor and best friend Tara and asked her to hang out later that night. Tara noticed that Dana was smoking a cigarette, something she only did when nervous. Dana was last seen on Tara's Ring camera at 11:05 p.m. After several days of not seeing her, Dana's sister Stacy called Stroudsburg Regional Police Department to report her missing. Last Monday, May 1st, nearly a year after Dana was last seen alive, Stroudsburg PD shared an update that she'd been found deceased. Her cause and manner of death are considered undetermined at this time. I headed to the Finding Dana group on Facebook, created by Dana's family, and saw this message from Stacy. She advocated and searched for her sister so hard for the last year. This was really tough to read. Stacy wrote her thanks to everyone who helped search and supported the family over the last year. She describes Dana as a bright light and says her laugh will stay with them forever. Echoing Stacy's words, I ask that all following Dana's case please respect the family's request for privacy and space to grieve. Please also keep all of them, especially her mom, kids, and sister Stacy, in your thoughts and prayers. Stacy will share details about Dana's celebration of life event at a later date. You can join the Facebook group to be alerted when that's posted, but again, please respect the family. While many of us have questions about what happened, that's not the important thing right now. To Stacy and the entire Smithers family and all those who knew and loved this beautiful woman, I send my deepest condolences and all the strength in the world during this difficult time. It is heartbreaking to hear this outcome, but I am grateful that Dana can at least be laid to rest and you can all begin the grieving and healing process. I encourage anyone watching this video to consider doing something kind in Dana's memory to continue shining the light that she brought to the world. Feel free to use the hashtag #DoItForDana on social media. I will share additional updates as appropriate with the family's permission. Thank you.
Okay. And of course, that's just a quick summary of what happened to Dana Smithers. Of course, it didn't end on a positive note, obviously. Because people are still trying to find out what's going on. I'm actually looking up to see if what her COD, cause of demise, was here really quick. There is a timeline here too. I know she said it a second ago, but or broke it down. I am curious about what her cause of demise was. Hold on, guys. I'm in the middle looking for it. But in the meantime, let me just show you guys this really, really quick. Okay. Okay. So they said a few days earlier on April 27th, the department said in a press release that approximately 11:22 a.m. that day, dispatch received a call from borough employee who discovered what was believed to be human remains in a wooded area next to Park Avenue 80 East on ramp in the borough of Stroudsburg. The remains were recovered by detectives and turned over to the coroner's office. The autopsy conducted on May 1st determined the remains belonged to Dana. The cause and manner of death are currently undetermined. Now, I am looking because of course, this is me just shooting it from the hip here, just trying to find what they say here. As of April 27th, okay, human remains were found, okay. They're saying that it's still, right now, they're saying cause and matter of death are currently undetermined. So she was found not long ago, all right. It's undetermined. Exactly, Jeremiah. So right now they're still finding out what's going on. Okay. Now I am trying to find. So she's been missing, but this is the part that's interesting. This young woman or this mother, okay, 45-year-old Dana Smithers has been missing. Sorry, let me show you this. Okay. Has been missing since May of 2022. Okay. So she's been missing for a minute. She's been missing for a while. And then she was found, or they made an update basically a year later, shy of a year later, okay, in 2023, where they found her and she was confirmed gone, deceased. So she had been missing for a long time, okay? She had been missing for a while. May 28th, she had been missing May 28th of 2022. And then they found her a year later, shy of a year later, on May 1st, in a wooded area next to an on-ramp in the borough of Stroudsburg. Okay? Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. So the thing is yeah, a year almost. This is so very sad, man. Exactly. Okay. Wondering if this is one of the reasons for his silent plea in order to get a different kind of plea deal eventually. Would his lawyer be required to know about this? If he was sitting there going, I did it. I mean, like I said, you're asking me. I'm a regular old dude. I'm very interested in bringing on one of our good legal friends, one of our good legal family friends to come onto the show and kind of break those things down for us. But that would be very interesting if if he was to turn to his lawyer and say, yeah, so what had happened was I done did it. You see what I'm saying? And I know a lot of places where other remains are buried, if you get what I'm saying. So what should I do so that I don't face a firing squad? That could very well be it. That could very well be it. Or it could be nothing. Again, him sitting there and not saying a doggone thing. I know some people were interpreting like, oh, this is him being defiant, cocky, rude, and all that. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. I'm going to leave everybody up to their own interpretations of his silence. But the fact that he didn't say anything it could mean that he's up to know that he knows more, and maybe he's trying to work out some sort of plea deal. That could very well be it, because of the information he has, because of the information he knows. You never know. But then again, you just never know the situation here. Okay, you just never know when it comes to this. Why he stood there silent. We don't know. We're not a fly on the wall in his room, talking to his lawyers, talking to Ann Taylor and all that. We don't have all that. And I wish we were. I wish we knew. But it does make it very interesting. Going right back to this again, real quick, y'all. Okay? Right back to this main title. Why you guys all congregated together as a congregation, as a family. Why you guys came together today to talk about this, to see this, is because of this. Parents were subpoenaed to testify in front of a grand jury in Pennsylvania. And it could be because of a connection. It's got to be. Why would they be subpoenaed for anything else? So they're looking into another case, and they're trying to get justice for that other case as well. But they're saying right now, as I showed you guys a second ago, they're saying that when it comes to this, they're saying he has a solid alibi. Let me show that again. He has a solid alibi, and it's likely not connected to Smithers, and is not likely connected to Smithers' disappearance. So that's very interesting. But the grand jury has not concluded their proceedings, and the investigation is ongoing. So they feel like they have something that they can stick on BK. Now, that is something that's definitely something to think about, for sure. It is very interesting stuff, but like I said, I wanted to give you guys the information. I wanted to break that information with you guys, because obviously we're all wondering what the hell. They've been doing all these grand jury proceedings. Now we got another one that's just been done in Pennsylvania with his parents. What does that pertain to? What does that mean? Is he working out a deal? Is he working out a plea deal? That's a very good question that was just asked. Is he working something out because he knows more information about where other people may be discarded or buried? Or is this Pennsylvania taking a shot in the dark? Okay. Catherine, thank you so much for the $10 super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, these doggone trials, secret squirrel trials. You know what I'm saying? So just saying that, hey, it's a very interesting piece of information. Let's see what comes out of those things. As we saw from BK, or from Bryan Enton, he is basically saying, hey, there's no real, they may not have something solid on Bryan Kohberger as far as like trying to bury him in this or not. We do not know as of yet, but let's see what these proceedings say and all that. And again, those testimonies that they had can be used in the Idaho 4 trial. So let's not forget that too. That's crucial. They could use this. And if they bring the parents back up to testify and they don't say exactly what they said with certain questions that were asked in Pennsylvania, They could use the records, those documents, those recorded testimonies, and throw them right back in their faces. And that could be very, very bad as well. Let me get this other one. Dolphin, thank you so much for the 5. I have also always thought there was a reason why he changed his phone number in June 2022. I think he was trying to hide some old tracks. You never know. Think about the 51 terabytes of information that they have. That's film, that's video, that's photos. It could be cell phone data. It could be everything, over the course of many, many years. So you never know what they have up their sleeves right now. Anyway, guys, that's the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really does mean a lot. I told you guys it'd be a short one, okay? But I got some more stuff coming to you guys tonight as well, or in just a few hours. So be sure to tune in for that, okay? Yeah, we got some stories to tell, but this was just big and breaking, so I wanted to give you guys the updates around this trial, okay? So do me a favor before we get going. Hit that like button down below. Crush it, make it scream out your name. That would really, really mean a lot. All right? That would really mean a lot. I really do appreciate the super chats. Real talk, I really do. It really means a lot as well, okay? And do not forget to hit that subscribe button if this is your first time checking out this show. Crush it, all right? Make it scream out your name as well. I'm trying to give you guys as much information as I can, and we got so many stories to tell and so many more updates as well. So be sure to tune in. It's going to be a very interesting couple days. Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. I appreciate all y'all. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys in the next show. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.